There was no show yesterday. I was wore out, to tell you guys the truth. And Wednesday I did a show on abortion, and it really took a toll on me. Plus all the the political unrest. It's just I needed to. Maybe I need longer to detox. I don't know, but there's so much happening that it's like we can't crawl under a rock and ignore what's happening. But yesterday, I did try. I tried to turn it off. I watched a couple of movies. Let's see, what did I watch? I watched Back to the Future. It was funny. It made me laugh. I also had watched Blast from the Past with Brendan Fraser and Christopher Walken, and it helped a lot. Just trying to tune some stuff out. But then last night I did watch David Wood on Apologetics Roadshow, where he covered Sneeko and the dumb crap with the Tater Tot brothers. Yeah, it was crazy. I actually fell asleep watching it. I watched most of it, but yeah, I just needed to get away for a minute. But boom, and then we have the terrorist attacks, and this is Will Kane posted on YouTube. He said the Austin shooter is a naturalized citizen. OD shooter, Old Dominion in Virginia, naturalized citizen. New York City teen bombers, children of naturalized citizens. Michigan synagogue attack, naturalized citizen. I mean, and he's saying, who are we giving citizenship to in America? We have a legal immigration problem. Not just an illegal, but a legal. We have a serious problem. And I get on this morning, okay, I'm going to do a show today. My entire feed, mostly 90% of it, is all about Islam. They want it rooted out. People are outraged. I mean, the ratio is off the charts. It's like, wow. So I guess this is what we're talking about, and as rightly we should be talking about this. But it's just insane. It seems like along in my feed now. Look, I've clicked on other people's stuff that people like a leftist would post something like Bernie Sanders and God knows who else, Ilmar Omar, all of them, and then there'd be a response, and I'd click on the libtards post, and man, they're getting hammered. They're getting hammered by people. I mean, 90%, they're getting hammered. Like, we need these people out of here. This is the prevailing wind. It seems to me the majority of America wants illegals gone. We need to re-examine these naturalized citizens. They need to go. Wow, it's insane. Here you have Gad said, he was saying, do you remember when I warned Americans on your show? So apparently he was on Will Kane's show. I mean, it's just insane. Now, you have some retarded stuff about Candace Owens and Megyn Kelly and Ben Shapiro. I swear, I don't understand this Candace Owens thing. I think, guys, is just stop reading her stuff. Stop clicking on it. Stop responding to it. What else do you want me to say? She's retarded. She's insane. She's nothing but wants clickbait. Well, unless she really believes the demonic nonsense that she's spewing, and Megyn Kelly won't denounce her, and that's the beef between Megyn Kelly and Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro did not call out Megyn Kelly and say, "Hey, you're an old hag. What's your problem?" He just said, "Hey, why are you defending Candace Owens attacking Erica Kirk's mother, who apparently is dying of cancer?" So that is just one other thing I've seen on X today. But 90, even more, guys, percent is all about getting illegals out, stop Sharia law. it's just been non-stop. Look, Newt Gingrich talking in 2016, saying we got a problem with Western civilization is at war. And he said, frankly, test every person who has a Muslim background. If they believe in Sharia, they should be deported. I mean, it's just nonstop. The difference between radical Islam and Islam is the radicals want to kill you while the rest just want the radicals to kill you. Because they seem to want to label, it's radical Islam. They're just radical. No, it's Islam in general. Stop saying radical Islam. They are all radical if they believe the Quran. They follow a pedo prophet. They're all, to me, they are all extremists to the nth degree. So it just, what my little brain, pea brain, can pick up on is that stop saying they're extremists. They all practice Islam. They all want Sharia law. They will sit idly by while their neighbor kills you. Even though you said, well, this neighbor's nice and pleasant, but this neighbor killed you. But this other neighbor killed you. They will sit by. They wouldn't stop them. I'm going to tell you right now. You'd have one good neighbor on the right, one bad neighbor on the left. Your good neighbor on the right is not going to stop the neighbor on the left. They're not. They're not going to do it. Here you have, and this is the feed. This is the feed. You got Senator Eric Schmidt. After Save the American Act, we passed the Scam Act so we can denaturalize and deport these who are here to hurt Americans. We must denaturalize those who shouldn't be here. And then he's got a list here. Scam Act expands the denaturalization for welfare fraud, aggravated felonies, espionage, drug cartels, foreign terrorist orgs. It is just nonstop. It says stop spelling it Muslims, spell it Muslims. Maximum offense at all times, every little detail. Look, we're still going. This is not even my stack of stuff. This is the feed. This is the feed on X. You've got Andy Org's representative. I forgot what he represents Tennessee. And then he posts just this month alone. And then we have already read about the bombings. Then we got, Governor Texas Greg Abbott just confirmed that he blocked nearly 24 Muslim schools from accessing $1 billion in school choice vouchers. Wow. Is this another problem we're having, that they're still scamming us? We don't want school choice funds going to radical Islam. They're not radical Islam. They're just Islams. Indoctrination with historic connections to terrorism. All red states should be doing this. Cut off their funds. Stop subsidizing them. And I will pass another bill that completely bans Sharia law in Texas. Well, let's just hope he does that. Let's hope he does that. We're going to continue on just through the feed. Religion is so goated that everything happens in the world today was already mentioned in the Quran centuries ago. Look, David Wood responds like the sun setting in a muddy pool. Yeah, because the Quran is retarded. Brandon Grill. If only there was a way to have predicted that Mohammed Jalala was from Sierra Leone, might be a terrorist. So if y'all don't know about this guy who just opened fire at Old Dominion, apparently he was arrested in like 2016, 2017, convicted for terrorism, was supposed to be serving, I think he was supposed to be serving more than a decade. He got let out early. He got let out early, and what did he go do? Let's see. U.S. aid to Africa has now ended, Marco Rubio. What is stopping humanity from living peacefully together? And Islam Invasion said Islam and the leftists. Wow. While you're at it, outlaw Sharia law in America and added a universal ban on the Muslim Brotherhood. Guys, it's just nonstop. I'm not worried about being politically correct. I'm worried about innocent Americans dying at the hands of Islamic terrorists that our country willingly imported and naturalized. So we need to denaturalize, deport, and rinse and repeat. I think I do have Matt Von Swirl in my stack of stuff, guys. Y'all need to check him out. Man, he's on it, man, on X. He says, "Yeah, I'm done. I'm done being tolerant." He said, "I've seen enough, man. These people clearly hate us. They hate our country. They hate our families. They hate our society. They steal our tax dollars. They don't learn our language. They attack us. Why are we putting up with this?" And he's absolutely right. He is absolutely. Look, it's just nonstop. We have to revet everyone who came to the U.S. under Joe Biden. They didn't do it properly. Obviously, they left the door open and they all came in. The security of our nation hinges on our ability to denaturalize and to deport terrorism. No sane country would let them in. Well, apparently we are insane. Apparently the EU is insane. Apparently Canada is insane. What is this? What is this? Holy crap, hundreds of millions of dollars in Medicaid fraud was just uncovered by Fox in California. Well, probably a lot of that is going to Hamas, so you have a couple of things. Greece announces that it will close 60 mosques in the country and deport those who continue to illegally create Islamic religious spaces. Greece is taking action against the Islamization of Europe. Wow. That's amazing. That is amazing. If they're going to do that, I don't even know why we're letting them build mosques after 9/11. No. And it's not a religion. It's an occult. It's the way they govern. Sharia law. It's the way they govern. All right, the most criticized verses in the Quran by Christians. So why are we upset with Islam? They want to call it a peaceful religion. So I went and did some research, and let's bring us up to speed. Let's see here. Let me get, y'all know I got to get in position here. And not in the zut sense. So if you've seen my couple of shows back where I explained the al-zut. And it is disgusting and despicable. And it is all about Muhammad being zutted by 30 black men. The most criticized verses in the Quran by Christians typically focus on passages that appear to contradict core Christian doctrines, especially about Jesus, that promote violence or subjugation towards non-Muslims, including Christians and Jews, referred to as people of the book. So when they say the people of the book, what they mean, we are the people of the holy book, the Bible. The Bible. When it says the book in the Quran, that's what it means. Or conflict with modern ethical views. These criticisms come primarily from Christians, apologetics, evangelists, and scholars who argue the verses undermine Islam's claim to confirm prior revelations while clashing with the Bible. Interpretations vary. Muslims often emphasize historical context, obligations, naskah, I don't know what that means, that word, or specific applications. But the verses below are among the most frequently cited as problematic in the Christian critiques. Let me see. I guess this word is this word, obligation? I guess. I didn't look it up, guys. We got a lot of stack of stuff, and I'm being lazy. Here are the top ones with standard English translations, primarily Dr. Mustafa Kataba and Sahih International, and the main Christian objectives, equivalents. Okay, here we go. We got a list. We got Quran 4:157, Sahih an-Nisa. And for boasting, we killed the Messiah Jesus, son of Mary, the messenger of Allah. But they neither killed nor crucified him. It was only made to appear so. Even those who argued for this crucifixion are in doubt, and they have no knowledge whatsoever, only making assumptions that they certainly did not kill him. Okay, so what does this mean in the Quran? It's saying Allah saved Jesus. He put somebody else in his place that looked like Jesus, but saved Jesus. But then that totally would dismiss the whole Christian view that we believe Christ sacrificed himself for all of us because we're all sinners and we all fall short. And guys, and here's the Islamic dilemma. The Quran is going to later on tell Muhammad, tell everybody, hey, the Jews and the Christians have their own book. Even Allah told Muhammad, if you have questions, consult these books. The book, which is the Bible, and the Torah. And then he said these other people, if they have they need to consult their book. So Muslims today say that the Torah and the Bible have been corrupted. So if it's been corrupted, why did Allah and Muhammad say that we need to abide by our own books? It doesn't make any sense. So if Allah and Muhammad are all perfect and the whole Quran is perfect, then why would it say that? Why would it contradict itself? And this here lies the dilemma. So we have, and you've got to understand that Muhammad came around in 600, right? So he's out there in the middle of the desert in a cave or something, right? And then he has scribes and stuff, a friend, whatever, and they start writing his delusional garbage and stuff like that. So, but keep in mind, we have the Dead Sea Scrolls. We have all kinds of stuff to show that the Bible has not been changed. It has not been corrupted. So this is what the Muslims do to try to deflect from their contradictions in their own book. It's insane. And even somebody who's not educated like me can see it. That, like, okay, I'm reading it for myself because I was curious. Like, okay, so if they're saying people are turning to Islam like really like massive droves, and I'm like, well, what's the appeal? What's going on here? So I start investigating. I start finding all these apologetics and stuff for Christianity against Islam and start learning. I start learning about all of this stuff, and this stuff is crazy, by the way. It's crazy. Let's get to the criticism. So the criticism is, this is the single most attacked verse by Christians because it directly denies the crucifixion and death of Jesus. The cornerstone of Christianity's salvation and atonement in the New Testament accounts. Christians argue it contradicts overwhelming historical evidence and the gospel, making the Quran incompatible with Christianity's central claim. Big time. Big time. We have historic records showing he was crucified. We have eyewitnesses. Over 500 people saw him after he rose again. So we have all of this documentation. All of it. Christians say that this misrepresents the Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, by including Mary as a deity and implying Christians worship her as a goddess. We don't. Now, do Catholics pray to her or something or hold her up in a high regard? Yeah, they do. It is seen as fundamental misunderstanding of Christian theology, suggesting the author of the Quran lacked accurate knowledge of the 7th century of Christian beliefs. Wow. Say it isn't so. That the author of the Quran lacked accurate knowledge of the century beliefs. Now, I've listened to David Wood a lot, and what he had said is like, okay, so Muhammad talked to people. Like, okay, because we didn't have internet, we didn't have cell phones. So there's caravans of people coming in and trading. So he's talking to Jews. He's talking to Christians, and he's hearing stories. So he's hearing all of these stories, and then he's just interpreting it and getting his guy to write stuff down. So he has gotten some things wrong. Like when they talk about Mary in the Quran, apparently it's not. It's. I think it ends up being the Mary of Moses' brother, not Mary Jesus' mother. So yeah, there's all kinds of crazy stuff. So y'all could go look that up. I'm not going to pull that up because we're going to go. That'll take us down another hole. Quran 929, Sarah at Tabath. For those who do not believe in Allah and the last days, nor comply with what Allah and His messengers have forbidden, nor embrace the religion of truth from among those who were given the scripture until they pay the tax, willing, submitting, fully humbled. Again, that means they pay the tax. We're not complying with Allah. We follow Christ. We follow the Bible. Those who is given the scriptures until they pay the tax willingly or submit fully. Criticism. Often called one of the sword verses, it is viewed as commanding perpetual warfare, subjugation of Christians and Jews via Jesuit tax and humbled status. Christians argue it promotes aggression against people of the book rather than peaceful coexistence. It's true. They cannot peacefully coexist with us. It is not in their Quran. They are encouraged by Allah to do this, to subjugate us or kill us. This is what they do. Stop saying it's a religion of peace. It's not a religion. It's a sword. It's a way to subjugate people, control them, rule them, make women wear hijabs. Quran 9:5. Okay, we just read that. No, we didn't. By the sword. Standard reading. But when the forbidden months have passed, then kill the polytheists wherever you find them, and capture them and besiege them, and set and wait for them at every place of ambush. But if they should repent, establish prayer, or give zakah, let them go on their way. Indeed, Allah is forgiving and merciful. This is what they're doing now with the terrorism. I think they're just lying in wait, and they're taking their opportunities to take us out. Plus, it's Ramadan, y'all. It's Ramadan Bamathon right now for them. And because it's Ramadan, when they commit these acts, and because they've all shouted Allah Akbar, so they're committing these acts in the name of Allah, then they supposedly they're going to get all these rewards in heaven for murdering innocent people. It's crazy. And they get extra rewards because it's Ramadan. Criticism cited as authorizing violence against non-believers, sometimes broadly applied. Christians point to it as evidence of aggressive expansionism. Even though it has a wartime context, they often pair it with the 929 as obligating earlier peaceful verses. Let's see, Quran 5, Suri al-Makati. If I say these wrong, I don't even care. O believers, take neither Jews nor Christians as guardians. They are guardians of each other. Whoever does so will be counted as one of them. Surely Allah does not guard the wrongdoing people. Criticism. As seen as forbidding close friendship or alliances with Christians and Jews, fostering division and distrust, rather than interfaith respect Christians expect from a scripture that claims to affirm prior revelations. So they could be all nice to your face. Quran 4:3, Surah non-Nisia. Men are the caretakers of women. And if you sense ill conduct from your women, advise them first. If they persist, do not share their beds. But if they still persist, then discipline them gently. The key phrase often translated as beat them or strike them in other versions. Criticism, widely condemned for endorsing even light physical discipline of wives, seen as prompting domestic violence and gender inequality. Of course it does. Often frequently mentioned verses include 2:919, kill them wherever you find them, often decontextualized 533, punishments like crucifixion for certain crimes, are verses referring to Jews as apes. Christians also criticize passages on polygamy, inheritances, and testimonies that appear to treat women unequally, though these are not equally anti-Christian. Well, no, but it's anti-moral. You're going to beat her, you can have 5 wives. The Islam dilemma. As Quinnanak dilemma is a separate but related Christian apologetic argument popularized by figures like David Wood. It highlights an alleged internal contradiction in the Quran regarding the Bible, Torah, and Gospel in jail. Quran 5:4-7, and let people of the Gospel judge by what Allah has revealed to them. So, and I'm not an expert on this. This is just me going by David and them, and plus reading this. This means the Quran is telling you what I was saying earlier is let them be judged by their own book. That Allah, apparently, the Quran is saying Allah gave the book and the Torah to the Jews and to the Christians. This is supposed to be by Allah. So, Allah's own book contradicts the Quran. Let that sink in, okay? And let the people of the gospel judge by what Allah has revealed to them. So what do? Christians out there, we read the Bible. We say Christ was born by a virgin. He's put here to sacrifice himself for us, and he was crucified, and then he rose again on the 3rd day. This is what our book, the gospel, tells us. And it tells us to turn the other cheek. It tells us to love our neighbors. Don't say, oh, Rochelle, but there was a lot of brutal stuff going on in the Old Testament. Yeah, there was. And a lot of it was good reason that God told them to wipe out a whole civilization when he told Saul, you need to kill them all. Even the animals, kill them all. There was a reason for it. But now we have the New Testament, a new covenant with Jesus. And it's not subjugation to people. It's not kill the Jew where they stand. It's not, oh, they have to convert or they die or we have to tax them. This is what the Quran is telling their people. That if they're non-Muslim, get back from me, Satan. Hide behind a rock and kill them or subjugate them or tax them. Unbelievable. Quran 3:34, 1094. The Quran affirms the previous scriptures as preserved as authoritative, telling Muhammad to consult those who read the scripture before you. If in doubt, and stating that the Torah and Gospel were with them in Durham in Muhammad's time. Yet the Quran contradicts core biblical teachings on crucifixion and on Jesus' nature above. The dilemma, if the Bible as it exists in the 7th century and today is reliable and preserved, then the Quran is wrong because it contradicts on major points Jesus' divinity, crucifixion, and resurrection. If the Bible was corrupted, as most Muslims claim via Taif, then the Quran is also wrong for repeatedly affirming it as intact, authoritative, and above for and available for judgment. I'm not sure how to say Taif, how to say that. No, I didn't look up the pronunciation. So y'all can laugh at me and call me a retard because it's probably true. Either outcome falsifies the Quran's claims. Christians use this as a logical trap that does not rely on external assumptions but on the Quran's own statements. Muslims' responses typically argue that the Injil refers only to Jesus, original, now lost, revelation, not the current gospel. That corruption occurred earlier or selectively, or that the verses are contextually, historically, rather than endorsing the entire modern Bible, which is stupid. because we have so much archaeological findings that nothing has been changed of the Bible, but they keep making these excuses. They keep making these excuses for the Quran. These criticisms and the dilemma are central to many Christian Muslim dialogues. Muslims counter with contextual explanations, abrogations, and different interpretations of corruption. And they're telling me to get some full text somewhere else. I highly recommend you check out Modern Day Debates. Check out David Wood's Apologetics Roadshow. And look at these debates. And listen to them and watch them. And listen to what the Muslims are saying. I'm not just saying just don't take maybe David Wood's word or God logic. Use your own thinking skills and compare the two. David and them have a brilliant point. And even AI Grok says, hey, there's legitimate conflict here. There's a legitimate dilemma here. Because either way, it's saying that the Quran is false because it contradicts itself. It's first the Quran's telling you, go and you've got the book. You've got the book. The Gospels. You have the Torah. Those people need to go and abide by it. Okay, so we go abide by it. It's telling us to reject the Quran. It's insane. I'm going to read this part one more time. If the Bible as it exists in the 7th century and today is reliable and preserved, then the Quran is wrong because it contradicts on major points. Jesus, the divinity, and the crucifixion, and the resurrection. Now, I don't know what retard wrote in the Quran unless it was put in there just to trick everybody and for us smart people to figure this out. I mean, have y'all thought of that too? Kind of like, all right, well, a lot of people think that Muhammad was, may he be how zooted on his soul, that he was, Aisha said he was possessed or he had something magical or whatever, like he wasn't himself. And this went on for a long time. And the thing is that people are thinking he was possessed. I mean, he's in some cave. Okay, so I was going to say, well, Rochelle, we could say that about John on the island of Patmos. I don't think so. I don't think so. Because his writing isn't coherent. Is it vivid and descriptive? And what do you want to use the term? Lot of metaphors and visual. Like the 10 heads of the beast comes out, that we refer to it as 10 nations or whatever. But there's no comparison here of the nonsense that's in the Quran. That doesn't even make sense. It just contradicts itself over and over. If the Bible was corrupted, as most Muslims claim, then the Quran is also wrong for repeatedly affirming it as intact, authoritative, and available for judgment. So either way, the Quran is false. I think that is just incredibly astounding. Let's jump into the Hadiths. Quran critiques, they focus on ethical issues. Closely parallel the Quran critiques, they focus on ethical issues, child marriage, treatment of women, violence, apostasy, apparent contradictions with the Quran, preservation, stoning, anti-Semitism, violence toward non-Muslims, including Jews and Christians, and further undermining of Jesus and biblical consistency. Christian apologetics, they're mentioning David Wood, Sam Shaman, and sites like Answering Islam, argue these Sahih, authentic, or widely cited hadiths portray Muhammad as a flawed moral example, contradicting Quran 33:21. You have in the Messenger of Allah an excellent example, and reveal a religion incapable with Christian values of grace, equality, and religious freedom. Muslims also respond with historical context, chain of narrative analysis. Some are graded weak and specifically applications only. The problem is that, oh, did I just go too far? Hold up, let me fix it. They want to say that the Prophet Muhammad was perfect, but yet you have Aisha, her own writings says that he married her when she was 9 and they consummated the marriage when they married her when she was 6. They consummated the marriage when she was 9. So that's why in Islam they don't have a problem with pedophilia. They're not calling it that. They'll just say, well, she was at pubescent age. It's insane. So how could he be perfect? Because either he's trying to compare himself to Jesus Christ, which Jesus Christ was perfect. Jesus wasn't the pedo. Jesus wasn't saying go murder people. Jesus wasn't saying go kill these people or put them under subjugation or tax them if they don't follow Christ. People had a choice to go follow Christ. Sahara al-Bukhari, 5134, also 5133, 5158, Aisha's age. Narrated Aisha that the Prophet married her when she was 6 years old and consummated his marriage, excuse me, when she was 9 years old. Criticism. Oh, should we not criticize that, ladies and gentlemen? By far, the number one target, Christians call it explicit endorsement of pedo and child rape. They argue it makes Muhammad's character indefensible by modern or even ancient moral standards, especially since he was 53 at consummation. This is hammered in debates as proof Islam cannot be from a holy God. Again, they claim that Muhammad is perfect. Muhammad's a perfect man. But yet he's a warlord. He's a pedo. He married his cousin. Yep, married his cousin. So now they've been marrying their cousins because he did it. Do you think they're going to denounce him because he married Aisha when she was 6? No. In fact, they think it's okay. And they're probably doing it here in the United States, but it's well, these people could sell their daughter to other men. You know that they're doing it. They're doing it in our country. I guarantee you they're doing it here. That's why they want Sharia. Sahih al-Bukhari 304, women deficient in intelligence and religion. I have not seen anyone more deficient in intelligence and religion than you, woman. A cautious, sensible man could be led astray by some of you. O Allah's messenger, what is deficiency in our intelligence and religion? He said it's not the evidence of two women. Is it not the evidence of two women equal to the witness of one man? Wow. This is the deficiency in her intelligence. Isn't it true that a woman can neither pray nor fast during her her menstrual? This is the deficiency in her religion. And we're going to get to the criticism. So, it's interesting to me that you've got Ilhar Omar as a congressman. So, what are they? Are they just using her? Or is there somebody with her because she only has half the brain of a man? So you need two women. So she only has half the brain of a man, but she's in a high position here. So is she's some man's puppet? Who else is running behind her to tell her what she needs to be doing, what she needs to be voting on? Hey, I'm asking questions here because I'm thinking this. I'm thinking this because she is totally Islam. Right? She is totally Islam. This is the deficiency in her religion. Okay, here's the criticism. Labeled deeply misogynistic, you think? Christians say it institutionalizes women as intellectually and spiritually inferior, justifying unequal testimony, inheritance, and leadership bounds, clashing with Christians' definitely doing that. Let's see if I can pronounce this word right. Egalitarianism, Galatians 3:28, and modern ethics. Sahari al-Bukhari, 6922, death of apostasy. Whoever changed his Islamic religion, then kill him. A prostate prophet says he can't go back to Turkey because he went from being an Islam, practicing Islam, to being an atheist, and now he's a Christian. So he's an apostate. Narrated in context of Ibn Abbas citing the prophet, criticism seen as condemning execution for leaving Islam, even privately. Christians contrast this with Jesus, love your enemies, and religious freedoms, calling it tyrannical incapability with any claim of mercy. It fuels arguments that Islam spreads by the sword. God. Now, these are all in the Hadiths, by the way, guys. Okay? Sahih Muslim 2922 and Bukhari parallels. Fighting Jews, speaking stones and trees. And they use these Hadiths. They use these and they study them and they go by them. The last hour would not come unless the Muslims will fight against the Jews, and the Muslims will kill them until the Jews would hide themselves behind a stone or a tree, and a stone or a tree where they say, "Oh, Muslim, there's a Jew behind me. Come and kill him." Except the chara tree, I don't even know how to say that, a charaquad tree, which is the tree of the Jews. Criticism described as an apocalyptic call to genocide against Jews. Christians' apologetics link to its anti-Semitism in Islamic tradition, pairing it with Quran verses on Jews as apes. And they also say we're the lowest form of life as well, by the way. Arguing it proves inherent hostility towards people of the book and contradicts any peaceful coexistence claim. Do we need to continue to read? This is the last one. Let's see. What do we got here? We got Sunni Majah 1944 and parallels and Musada Ahmad. Goat, sheep, ate the stoning and suckling verse. Oh my gosh. This is probably going to be goofy. The verse of stoning and the verse of breastfeeding an adult 10 times were revealed, written on paper, placed under Aisha's bed. When the messenger of Allah died, we were preoccupied with his death, and a tame sheep goat came in and ate it. See, before, guys, a lot of the stuff Muhammad would say is that you had people memorizing this stuff, and then they did start writing some stuff down, and then after Muhammad died, they started putting the whole Quran together. But then they claim that a goat ate a bunch of stuff. Huge for Christians. It proves the Quran is not perfectly preserved. Yeah, how can it be perfect? How did Allah allow this? Contradicting Quran 15:9 that stoning for adultery practices in Hadith, Sharia, but absent from the Quran, which originally revealed, and that even Aisha admitted verses were lost, often called the goat ate the Quran. Hadith used to mock preservation claims and show Hadith undermining the Quran itself. Note, many Muslims grade this narration weak, but it remains a staple in Christian polemics. Okay, what do we got? What do we got here? Let's see. What does this say? If hadiths are reliable as mainstream Sunni Islam requires for Sharia prayer, they expose moral problems. Aisha, apostasy, women, Jews, and contradictions. Goat verses proves loss, corruption, stoning added to Quran. This makes Muhammad a poor, excellent example, and Islam ethically inferior to Christianity. Wow. Wow. If hadiths are unreliable, fabricated, as critics and some Quran and other Muslims argue, then core Islamic practices collapses. Most laws, rituals, and even interpretations of the Quran come from hadiths. Plus, the goat stone hadiths still leak admissions of Quranic issues. So, wow. Bonus layer, many hadiths references or assumes the Bible, Torah, Gospel is intact in Muhammad's time, further trapping the original dilemma, while adding new contradictions, detailed Jesus' stories differing from the Gospel. Either way, the hadith collection, especially the Sunnah ones, is portrayed as self-incriminating evidence against Islam's claims. Muslims' response emphasizes context. Aisha's marriage was cultural norm. Apostasy tied to treason in the 7th century Arab. Goat narration weak. Obligation or the hadith are secondary to the Quran. These are central to Christians, Muslims debates today, as with Quranic verses. Always check full chains. Yes, always check all of this stuff. Always check all of this stuff. Look. The hadith, the writings of Aisha, which is she is the mother of the prophet. I mean, she's the one that said that he married her when she was 6, and then consummated the marriage when she was 9, and she never had any children. She didn't end up having any children. I wanted to go over that. I need to be more knowledgeable. I need to continue to do more reading, more research, more listening. And this kind of stuff, because I feel like America's turning upside down. Like, what are we doing? I mean, it seems like every other day there's some kind of terrorist attack. And then we've let in we left the door open and all these illegals coming in. We don't know who the heck's in this country. Now, Trump said the other day, we know where a lot of them are. I don't know, man. Here we have Representative Paul Chip. Who is he? What is he? He's the staff accountant to provide updates to constituents in Texas, 21st District. Y'all know him, Representative Chip Roy. I mean, everybody's seen him. He's saying pause all immigration. This Bill Mulligan, multiple federal sources confirmed to Fox News that the suspected Old Dominion University shooter is Mohammed Jahala, a naturalized U.S. citizen from Sierra Leone, who was convicted in 2017 of providing support to ISIS. He was released in December 2024, and he's what DOJ said after. Oh, they're going to tell me what says the DOJ said afterwards. Whatever. It's like, why did you let this guy go? What is happening? What is happening? Wow. Florida is making history, ladies and gentlemen. Florida is set to become the first state in the nation requiring mandatory instructions on the history of communism in public schools, starting 26-27 school year. Students will learn about the horrors of communism and the destructiveness of Marxism, including atrocities under communism regimes, suppression of freedoms, and why these ideologies threaten liberty. They should teach them about socialism too. Proud to stand against indoctrination and for the truth in education. He says, I'm so glad to be an educator in Florida. We continue to lead the way with school choice and the best, most conservative education system in the country. Good Lord, guys. This is what we need across America. They need to make this mandatory. Mandatory. Oh, man. Elon Musk retweeted Bill Mitchell's tweet. Bill says, you want to know how we know that Thorne is a major problem? Because the media never attacks him. And Elon Musk said exactly, legacy media is a propaganda arm of the left. This is insane. Remember Rush Limbaugh used to say, whoever the left is afraid of, they attack the most. They attack the most. Man, dummy having a meeting, sitting on the floor, eating with his hands. Eating with his hands. Unbelievable. Disgusting. I'll tell you what, Congressman Randy Fine has just been attacked and attacked and attacked because he had said that somebody told him, like, you're just Islamophobia. You're just spreading hate. And he says we need more Islamophobia, not less. Fear of Islam is rational. It's rational. Look, my guy Kevin Sarbo says, he says ban Islam. I mean, it just goes on and on and on and on and on. Here you have Paris attacks Muslim. Look at all these attacks. Look at all of these attacks. They're all done by Muslims. But keep in mind, guys, they're just so peaceful. A lot of people are getting attacked and accused that they're Islamophobias because mostly it's the left. A lot of them in Congress or senators, because I've been showing y'all congressmen and senators on my feed are all about, ban Islam, kick them out, stop mosques, blah, blah, blah. So somebody posted this. It says, why are you wolfophobic? I just thought that was brilliant. I just thought it was brilliant. Because you're accusing people of being Islamophobia. Well, we have a reason to. Your own book and your Hadiths call to kill Christians and Jews. Are you kidding me? And if you do it during Ramadan, you get bigger blessings, and maybe you're going to get more than 72 virgins. I don't know. Oh, God. Bernie Sanders here. So, Senator Tuberville also... let me show you what Coach Tuberville posted. He posted, the enemy is inside the gates. And that picture I just showed you of Mendumi eating. So there was also a picture of Ilhan Omar and Mendumi side by side. And plus, we already know the enemy is inside the gates. We do know this because we're being attacked right now as we speak. We've had several Americans murdered just this past year, and we're only in, we're only in the third month. We're only in the third month. So here's stupid Bernie Sanders. Senator Tuberville's post on Mayor Mendumi is nothing less than blatant Islamophobia racism. Not only should Toby apologize, but the Republican leadership should strongly condemn this kind of ugly behavior. We must fight racism at all kinds, not condone it. Oh, because they want them in here. The left wants these ideologues in here. I don't understand this off yourself empathy, because this is what this is. This is literally what this is. But I retweeted as well. I said, wow, just retire for goodness sakes and have your head examined. You are clearly bat yuck crazy, because he is. He is. And look, Islam invasion. I like what he posts a lot. Your party is at fault for all of this, so shut up. This is all from the attack yesterday. We had the attacks over the weekend with the bombings. It's just, how much more, guys? How much more do we have to take before we wake up and realize the Islam is not compatible with Western civilization? This person, Dr. Takia Trembo, who the heck is he anyway? Internet pain specialist. Yeah, he's a retard. He says, yes, because Representative Mark Harris, he represents North Carolina's 8th Congressional District. So he tweets, Sharia law is not compatible with Western civilization. So this Dr. Retard here says, yes, because Sharia has a death penalty for pedos. There's my guy, David Wood. No, it doesn't. I really love David Wood. The Quran and the Hadith allow grown men to have you-know-what with pre-adolescent girls, but Sharia does have a death penalty for apostates, critics, polytheists, Jews, and Christians who refuse to pay jizya. Now, go try lying to someone else. And then David comes with receipts. David comes with what their book says. He tells them what their book says. He shows it. This is Sahari Bakari 5133, which we read this. We read a lot of this. That the prophet wrote that the marriage contract with her, she was 6 years old, and he consummated his marriage when she was 9 years old, and then she remained with him for 9 years until he died. And I think a Jewish woman poisoned him. So if he was such a prophet, and you let a Jew poison you, I think it took him a while to die, by the way. It made him really ill. So there you go. David posts this. He says, name of the terrorist who opened fire at Old Dominion University. Apparently David went to that university, and that's where he married his wife, and he had a best friend there as well who passed away, who was a Muslim and converted to Christianity before he passed away. He says, the name of the guy is Mohammed Baylor Jawal. I guess that's how you say his name. Who cares? Name of the terrorist who drove into the Temple Israeli synagogue is Alma Mohammed Ghazel. What do you notice, guys? What do you think they have in common? You think it's Muhammad? What? Do you? What does this person say? No religion is associated with terrorism, but those named Muhammad have been involved in terrorizing others for 1,400 years. It began with the original. It is in their holy book stating, cast terror in the hearts of the enemies. And in the Hadiths, where Promo is recorded as saying that he was helped by using terror against his enemies. This is what they're supposed to do. But of course, no religion is blah, 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 blah. But clearly, Muhammad is a name associated with it. Of course. Of course. Why they name all their kids Muhammad is retarded. Aren't you glad we are? I mean, I know there's some Spanish kids named, well, they just say Jesus. I don't think they literally say Jesus, but you don't see us doing that. Now, we have used biblical names of the books in the Bible from the followers of Jesus, like John, Mark, Luke, Paul. I don't know. Breaking, the 2026 Oscars are on high alert after the FBI warned a potential surprise attack from the regime in Iran. But check this out, guys. Law enforcement in California has been alerted to threats that could involve drones, sleeper cells, or even lone actors and actresses. So we could be under attack from one of these retards. From one of these retards, we could be under attack. So y'all need to be very vigilant. I can't stand Gavin Newsom. I'm going to be honest with you. Tommy Tuberville proves to the world that a football hitting you in the head can turn you into a racist piece of excrement. Congrats, Tommy. And he's responding for Tommy saying the enemy is inside the gates. But Gavin Newsom doesn't care. Look at his city. And check it out. What does Gadsad say? Racist against whom? There are white Muslims, Chinese Muslims, black Muslims, Indian Muslims. So who is he racist against? Wow. This is some breaking news. Iran cancels plan to attack California after seeing Gavin Newsom's already destroyed it. Yeah, they're like, oh, we've been leaving our crap holes, like all those countries in Africa. Yeah, we've been leaving our crap holes to come and make your country a crap hole. But California's already a crap hole. We want to make it our own crap hole. We're almost done with the stack of stuff. I don't know if y'all listened to this woman's press conference, but I heard some of it this morning. She said it's been revealed that it was the students at Old Dominion University who beat the terrorists to death without guns. There were students that were in the room that subdued him and rendered him no longer alive. This is what this woman said. They rendered him no longer alive. And then she says, I don't know how else to say it. But they basically were able to terminate the threat. I mean, obviously she's a libtard, retard. Why couldn't she say, we need to thank these heroes who were in the room, these group of young men who subdued, tackled, and eliminated the threat. And he is dead. They killed him. Where he can't hurt nobody else. But nope, she had to say something completely retarded.
There were students that were in that room.
Oh. Y'all could probably hear it. I couldn't. I didn't have my headset on.
There were students that were in that room that subdued him and rendered him no longer alive. I don't know how else to say it, but they basically were able to terminate the threat.
So he was not shot.
He was not shot. There were students that were in that room that subdued him and rendered him no longer alive. I don't know how else to say it, but they basically were able to terminate the threat.
Wow. And she's your spokesman in Norfolk, Virginia, by the way. Oh, look at this. We got Josh Gunthermer. Yeah, he's a Democrat. He says, what the F is wrong with you? After a day like today, we need unity, not more hatred and division. How can we unite with Islam? We can't. There's no uniting. Their own Quran, their own Hadiths. We just went over all of this. Because, again, so many people have responded to Randy Fine. Congressman Randy Fine says we need more Islamophobia, not less. Because everybody's attacking him. We need more of it. And we can't. This moron, how can we be unified with Islam? We cannot. It's not going to happen. Check this out, guys. Now, y'all, my audience could say that you've saw verses from the Quran, and we've read stuff from the Hadith, and we talked about the Islamic dilemma that the apologetics are using against the Quran. Y'all can look this stuff up. I don't make this stuff up because if I could defend Islam, I would, but I can't because it's not giving me nothing to defend it. This person, who is this goofball? He practices Islam. Malik. Most Christians have never opened a Quran. If they actually read it with an open heart, they ditch Christianity and run to Islam yesterday. Truth hits different when you study it. Well, I'm going to tell you, Malik, the truth did hit different. It hit to like, my God, I didn't know all that retarded stuff was in your Quran. I had no idea about the Islamic dilemma. I didn't even know about Muhammad marrying a 6-year-old. I've been just learning this stuff the last 2 or 3 years. Really. I'm serious. And once I started learning what's actually in the Quran, what actually the Hadith teaches, I'm running away from the Quran. I embrace Christianity. I've always been a Christian, by the way, with all full disclosure. But that doesn't mean I couldn't think for myself and listen and read the Quran and see what all they have to say. Wow. And look what David said. David said, I've read it. Worst book ever. Look at this person. This person says many Christians have read the Quran and still remain convinced of the truth of Jesus Christ. Honestly, study invites humility, not assumptions. For believers, the search for God's truth ultimately leads us to Him alone 100%. And then Malik says, no, they don't. No, they don't. What? And he says, you don't know that. I mean, this goes on and on. This was a really good back and forth. You've got Muslims on here, you've got Christians on here, but the Muslims don't have a leg to stand on because their own writings just contradicts everything. Let's see, what does this person say? And believe in that I have set down, confirming that which is with you, and be not the first to disbelieve in it, and sell not my signs for a little peace, and fear me. This is Sunni 241. Open the Quran and find this. Master Quran, what is the Quran's confirming? Oh, he's asking him a question. So he's saying it's confirming the earlier revelations from God that were originally given to the prophet of the book. The Quran acknowledges the Torah and the Gospel as divine in origin, while also correcting what was altered or forgotten over time. No, it doesn't. What's the Torah and the Gospel, and what was the altered in them, when and by whom? This is the question they can't answer. I'm liking this Alibaba Baki. Baki? This guy. Look, he just gave it to him, man. He's like, dude, can't answer this question. What's the Torah and the Gospel, and what was altered in them, and by whom? And this is another thing you're going to learn, guys, if y'all are watching debates. They'll be confronted with these questions. They can't answer them. They can't. I'm waiting. Like when that question comes up, I'm like, ooh, what's he gonna say? And it just goes down. They want to change the subject, kind of like Sneeko. Don't want to talk about the real reason or the terminology for genocide. No, he wants to change the subject and talk about Epstein, which he shouldn't have done that. So they want to change the subject. You'll notice that a lot in the debates. They'll change the subject. So they can't. This Malik guy can't answer this question. He can't, because the Quran is confirming the Torah and the Gospel as divine in origin. So if they're saying it's corrupted, who corrupted it? And if it was corrupted, then why did the Quran, which the Quran came after Jesus, after the disciples, then the Quran comes, right? Then the Quran comes, and the Quran says these are affirmed scriptures. These books are confirmed by Allah. So who corrupted them? They can't answer it, guys. They can't answer it. Zohan Mendami says, let there be as much outrage from politicians in Washington when kids go hungry as they are when I break bread in New York. So everybody's upset that he's sitting on the floor. He's eating with his hands. Apparently they don't use toilet paper, guys, when they wipe their butt. They use their hand. Anyway, I'm just telling you, y'all go look it up. It's disgusting. These people are disgusting. And go look up, what is it, challah meat? It's disgusting. It's so gross. And what he's doing is, man, everybody is posting against Coach Tommy. You must like him. You got to like him even more. The enemy is inside the gates, which he's posting talking about Mandami doing this in there. But I did tweet on this too. I was like, Zoe, you either are the biggest retard or you're the biggest troll, because you're full of shite. It's mind-blowing. You are not fooling anyone other than your retard people who follow your pedo prophet. Good Lord, people, just read the Quran. Just read the Quran. And then I say, because Islam dilemma is real. The dilemma is real. So that's what I said. That's what I said. And look, my buddy Kevin Sarbo, he posts, you broke bread with the man on the right. Now look, this sign right here, guys, it has something to do with ISIS. And the guy one of the 18-year-olds that was being let out of the facility to be put in a car and transported, he did the ICE sign. One of the attempted bombers in New York last weekend, he did the ICE sign. And this guy right here was sitting and eating with Mandami. Yeah, in New York. They were all sitting around and eating, and he does the ICE sign. This is outrageous. It's outrageous. This is why people are pissed. Oh, here's my guy. We got two more things, a stack of stuff. We're done. Name one country that is freer and safer because the Muslims moved there. Can anybody name one? because it's the end of the show. You let me know in the description. Name one country that's freer and safer because Muslims moved there. And there's my guy, Andy Argels. There he is, man. Yep. Name one country, people. Tell me. Make me change my mind. If you can. All right, y'all, look. Elon Musk retweeted this. Hopefully y'all can get a good look. It's had almost 3 million views. So hopefully y'all can see this good. Let me make this bigger. Okay, it says this is simple. So you've got Republicans destroy the Democratic Party with voter integrity. And we have a city on the hill. And look, there's John Thune. But on the right, Democrats destroy America with voter fraud. It's so true. It's so true. And of course, Elon Musk says, yeah, that's pretty much right. That's pretty accurate. That's pretty accurate. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. If you are an Islam goofball reading the Quran, prove me wrong. Let me know in the comments. Where am I going wrong? Did I read anything wrong about the Quran or the Hadiths? Because I pulled it up. I gave the thing and quoted it. And then gave the criticism from Christianity. So, you tell me where'd I go wrong. Where'd I go wrong? You smarter than Grok? And it's pulling what the criticism is from Christian apologists. And there you have it. There you go. Thank you for joining me. I hope you like, share, subscribe. Pray for our country and pray for Donald Trump and pray that we can get back to God. And pray we can. They're trying to push to stop the abortion pill. I wanted to mention that. A lot of people are attacking the senator for doing that. What's his name? Oh, God, I'm having a brain fart. Y'all, I've looked at so much information today. Anyway, the Republicans are trying to push to get it banned, and we should. You shouldn't be able to order a pill, and it's dangerous. It is absolutely dangerous. In fact, a woman could die. And then there's stories of young men, y'all can go Google this, men ordering the pill online and sneaking it and giving it to their girlfriends because they don't want to pay for a kid. So there's all kinds of implications on why we should outlaw this. For sure. May God have mercy on us. Pray for our country. And there you have it. Y'all have a great day and have a wonderful weekend. I may do a video tomorrow. I'm not sure. We'll see if we've got to see what's going on in the news. Guys, and some of us just need to get a break. So it just depends on what's going on. And if the Lord willing, the Lord wants me to do this, I feel compelled to do it. Absolutely, I will. And thank you for joining me.